Hello, and welcome to another episode of Bring Back Focus, a podcast about bringing deep, meaningful work back into our hyper distracted modern life. Today's episode is about the lost art of disconnecting. We get into the meat of the episode, let me start by asking you a question. When was the last time you were fully offline? No messages, no internet, no scrolling through your Slack, Instagram, email, just you and your thoughts. It sounds very simple, but if you're like me, or for that matter, anybody around us, it is becoming extremely rare. I've asked a lot of people around me, my friends, colleagues, most of them couldn't remember the last time they were in that mode. And some of them actually didn't want to be because they were just being alone with their thoughts made them feel very uncomfortable. And honestly, I get that too. I've been in that place and I've felt that way too. What has happened is we live in a world of constant connectivity today, just constantly connected. You are receiving constant updates, replies, pings, dings, all these notifications. And we are not just connected, we are stuck with this connection. You are replying to emails during dinner, you are checking your phone for your how many likes you got when you're with your kid. We're scrolling through social media in the middle of meetings. That's where we've reached now. And half of our attention is almost always somewhere else. Even when we are doing like really deep, meaningful work, half of our attention is somewhere else. And what I've noticed is when I'm constantly connected, I don't just feel tired like that physical exhaustion. I feel foggy. I don't know what the other way to describe it. It's just completely foggy. It's almost like my brain isn't able to think clearly because there is this dense fog ahead of it. The ideas that I get, it impacts my ability to solve problems when I'm in that mode. And there is absolutely no way I can be creative when I'm like that. And what it does is it creeps up slowly. You don't notice it right away. It takes time, but when you do notice it, you realize that you're thinking smaller, you're reacting faster, and you're just feeling way more scattered. And the thing is, we weren't built for this kind of world. I remember long time ago when I was, relatively younger, I actually enjoyed this silence. You could just throw a book at me. Can go in the corner and I would spend hours by myself reading the book or just being alone with my thoughts. Now I have to fight even for a few quiet minutes. It's almost become, I cannot even imagine, sitting in a corner just doing nothing. We've been conditioned to fill every gap that we have. You see people in lines just on their phone, people at work, if they have nothing to do, just doing something. You're constantly filling every little minute that you get with something or the other. Even in subways, and I live in New York City, so I notice it quite often. In New York City subways, you don't get internet when you're between train station, but when you are at a train station, I see it almost feels like people are grasping for oxygen, and as soon as the station comes, they just out of water and they get their breath back when they check their phone. It feels really really dystopian at times, to be honest. What we do know, and research has proved, we all know from our own experience, that clear thinking needs quiet time. None of my best ideas, and I'm pretty sure yours, come when you're answering emails or juggling different tabs. That never happens, right? Your best ideas come when you're doing nothing. Probably you're walking, you are in a flight without internet. And I'll come to that. Flights and internet have also become messed up today, but without internet on the flight or just staring out of a window. For me, sometimes it's sitting in a balcony, just reflecting on things, not doing anything. Even for this episode, the idea for this episode came when I was in the subway noticing what is happening around me. And so I started thinking about where do I find this time to disconnect and how can anybody find this time to disconnect? I have constantly over a period of time found these five places where I really disconnect. One, flights. I have this one rule when I fly. I do not turn on my Wi-Fi, no matter what. No matter how important the work, it can wait. Everything can wait till the time I'm back on the ground. So no Wi-Fi on the internet. In fact, the airplane mode on our phones was invented for flights, but we somehow managed to get internet there as well. I don't know why, but it's just in the name of speed and productivity. Flights is an area where I am offline, fully offline. What do? I sleep, I write, jot down ideas, whatever. But no internet. The second place, and it's becoming difficult, but creating hard boundaries around it, is when I'm with my kids. The thing is, kids don't do half attention really well. Like you may think that they are doing their own thing, but they're noticing when you are half present with them. When I keep my phone away, even for 30 minutes, something shifts completely for both of us, for me and for them. It just feels very fulfilling and enriching. So that's the second place where I try to find my disconnect. Third is early mornings. I have one rule: the first hour or hour and a half after I wake up, I do not check my phone, or I do not check internet. I do not connect. I'm completely disconnected for the first hour and a half. And I realize that, and there are days when, I have to for some reason, but they are very rare. But I've realized that the days I do not connect in morning are some of the best days. So I think I've made that a rule. No internet for the first hour, hour and a half. Fourth is when I'm out with my friends. So, no, just no, everything can wait. Like when you're with your friends, be there, have a deep, meaningful conversation rather than trying to catch up on anything else. So that's the fourth place where I'm disconnected. And the fifth, for me, this is specifically for New York City when I'm in subways. I do not try to check my messages. Oh, let's put it that way. I do not try to connect with internet at that time. Just disconnected. I'm trying to be outside my phone, either reading my book or just doing nothing. So those are the five places that I try to be fully transparent. It's not that I'm 100%, except for the flights, it's not that I'm 100% disconnected, but I'm making real hard rules around this, that I'm not going to be connected in these zones. When we are constantly connected, we are missing some very important aspects of our thinking. And that's what I'm trying to fight against. And it's difficult, but I've realized that we are constantly learning to be better at something, better at this new tool, better at AI, better. But this skill nobody talks about. This ability to disconnect is probably one of the most important skills in today's day and age. It helps you think much better, helps you come up with better solutions, and helps you solve some real hard problems. And some days I'm great at it, other days I'm in a zone that is not good, but every day I'm trying, because every time I carve out a bit of space, I feel that I've done a better job at my work and my ideas are much better. So think about this. How do you want to be disconnected? It doesn't have to be like a big bang action. Start small. So if you check your phone the first thing in the morning, just go 15 minutes without checking your phone. Leave the phone in the bag, not in your pocket, in the bag when you meet your friend the next time. Try one public transport ride without your phone or your headphones. Take that one flight and do not turn on the Wi-Fi in that flight. And one thing that I found surprisingly effective is go for a walk without your phone or your head and be alone with your thoughts, and you'll realize how impactful that can be today. So that's for today's episode. I hope you get something valuable out of it, and I would love to hear how you find your zones of disconnection. Thank you for taking the time. See you in the next episode. Bye.